everyone, welcome back to my channel and welcome to Bookmas Day 17. Tonight I'm sharing with you guys the stuff that I have been reading through the month of December. It's not a lot. I've been doing a lot of other stuff instead of reading, but I am almost at the end of the things that were, kind of busying up my month. After tomorrow, I should be able to just stay home and chill. Except for one outing, we're going to take my daughter out for her birthday on Sunday. But besides that, I'm probably going to be able to just stay home and chill for, I don't know, maybe till close to the end of the year, at least until the Monday after Christmas, when I probably should go out and get more groceries. But I have planned it out pretty well that I think I am going to get a lot of time at home here in these next couple weeks. So I'm really thankful for that. But tomorrow I'm going to go out and get my groceries and, just bring in the provisions. I wish I was bringing in the provisions for like some kind of cold wintry storm, but it's supposed to hit 70 on Christmas. Thank you, Arkansas. But I think we're supposed to get rain tomorrow, so that's kind of nice. But anyway, I thought I would sit here in front of my tree because my family's all gone, so the house is quiet. I get it all to myself. So I thought I would sit here and make this video and tell you guys about the stuff that I have been reading this month. All right, so I have 4 books, and then my 5th book I will probably finish tonight. And then after that, I'm going to start in on like some specific Christmas reading. I guess one of these is specific. Let me just get to them. The first book that I finished this month was Curtain by Agatha Christie. This is the last Poirot novel. This was really good. So we have seen my husband and I had just watched the episode Curtain, probably, I don't know, it's been within the last few weeks. And it was the last Poirot. We've been watching the TV series for, I don't know, several months, maybe even close to a year. And the first time that we watched through that series several years ago, they had not yet made the last episode. And so that one was new for us. And we were floored when we watched it on TV. We were like, what in the world? Like, Agatha Christie was a total genius, and that was extremely unexpected. So I wanted to read the book to see if it sort of, matched up with the TV episode, and it did. It was so good. So for anyone who doesn't know the story already, this one will be quite a shocker. Really, really good story. And it is interesting how she sort of brings everything full circle because her first Poirot story is The Mysterious Affair at Styles. And then this last story, Curtain, also takes place at Styles. And I don't think it does in the TV episode. I think they are in the mountains or something. But yeah, she brings it back around. And so it was good. Super good. And then I had another Agatha Christie this month. I read Hercule Poirot's Christmas, and I did not enjoy this one hardly at all. It was really a slog. There was not a lot going on, and it was just extremely boring. I just really did not find it compelling. It took me a long time. I mean, it took me days. It was only like 160 pages. It took me days to read this, and I already knew the story. It still took me a long time, so it just wasn't nearly as engaging, and I don't really know why that is, but there just wasn't a whole lot going on in it, weirdly enough. And it doesn't actually give much of a Christmas vibe. So if this is on your TBR for this month and you're hoping for something that is super Christmassy, this one isn't so much. But, don't let me discourage you. I want to read all of her novels, so still worth it, but just not nearly as good as some of the others. And then I tracked both of those in this Agatha Christie reading tracker. And I don't know if I ever showed you guys this, but I got this at Barnes & Noble. And it has every book she wrote in her name and in some of her other names. She wrote under the name Mary Westmacott. And she wrote under her her married name, her second married name, Agatha Christie Mallowan. So all of those are in this book, and they look like this, and it's just kind of like a little journal tracker thingy where you can put the date that you started it, the date that you finished it, whether or not you solved the case before, the story was over. You can rate it with a 5-star rating or lower. Then there's place for victims, clues, murderers, favorite quotes, and then other notes. So I have been reading through because, like I said, I've seen all of the TV shows, both for Poirot and for Miss Marple. I have not watched any of like the Tommy and Tuppence or Parker Pine or Harley Quinn. I don't know if there's even shows for those. I think there is Tommy and Tuppence for sure, but I haven't watched any of those, but I've watched the other ones. So for those ones, I'm just kind of trying to see, like, do I remember the story? Do I remember what happens? And so I kind of write myself like a note when I start the book, and then I read it, and then I write myself a note at the end. And anyway, so it'll take me a long time, to fill this up, but what a cool little companion for reading Agatha Christie. All right, and then my daughter and I read 2 the Brambley Hedge books together. This one is The Secret Staircase. This is kind of a Christmassy, no holiday is actually mentioned, but they do things that are sort of, they do some things that are kind of Christmassy and some things that seem to be associated more with Yule, but it's a good one for this season. And then The High Hills. That was kind of an adventure. So we read those together. We wanted to get all of the late autumn season books done because we have the winter story to read once it turns winter. And her birthday is actually on the solstice. It's on December 21st. So we won't read it probably on her birthday because she'll have too many things going on. But the next day, I think we'll pull out winter story because it will be winter. So those are the things that I have read this month so far. And then I'm just about done. I took the dust cover off, but it's Rule Britannia by Daphne du Maurier. I'll put the picture of like what my book looks like right there. And I'm just about done. I will be done with this tonight if I just sit down and finish it up. And I can't say that there's a lot going on in this book. It's not a bad story. It's not super compelling either. So this is one of her later ones. I think it was published in like 1972. And in this story, it's kind of a dystopian. U.S. troops show up in England, and at first they're friendly. In fact, they're still kind of friendly, even now toward, more into the book. I'm about almost 3/4 of the way through. It's just that they're very much taking over, and they are stationed all around. I think these guys are at Cornwall. They are stationed all around this area where Emma lives with her grandmother, and her grandmother runs kind of like not really an orphanage. It's just kind of like, she just has a bunch of foster kids that she's taken in, a bunch of boys. And so they all live there together on the coast, and U.S. troops just show up one day, and leaders of England get on the news and, say everything's fine, remain calm, nothing to worry about. We are, basically in an alliance with the U.S. They never really tell what the alliance is about. Like, is it a military alliance? Is it a financial alliance? Is it, what's going on? And so far, it hasn't really actually explained in detail what this alliance is about. What are the parameters of it? How far, is U.S. really like in charge, or are they working together with Britain, is how they made it sound when they first came on TV. But even, like I said, almost 3/4 of the way into it, I don't really know. I can't say that it's slow moving. I'm engaged with this book, but just nothing really significant has happened. There is a murderer, and who, is involved or whatever. So they're kind of trying to cover that up. But other than that, I don't know. It's just, there's just not a lot to it yet. So I'm kind of waiting for some big spectacular ending that, shocks everyone, and they know that's a big shock or whatever. And the reason why is because Rebecca is like that. I had talked about that in my video on Rebecca in October, Daphne du Maurier's earlier book. She published 40 years earlier. And that one, it goes on for chapters and chapters and chapters. And it's not until like chapter 18, chapter 19, when everything shifts and all of a sudden you're like, oh, and then everything comes together and you realize what all that back stuff was about. And then it just really starts taking off and picking up speed from there for those last few chapters. So I'm kind of hoping that this will do the same thing. I am trusting Daphne du Maurier. Don't let me down here. But I did read her book, The House on the Strand, which was also written much later. And that one just kind of went along and stopped, like this one is seeming to. I like the story, but there wasn't any big major, like, oh, wow, revelation like there was in Rebecca. So I'm not exactly sure. She's trying her hand at dystopian. I don't know if she has any dystopians before this one. The House on the Strand is a time travel novel. And then I haven't read Jamaica Inn or My Cousin Rachel in years, like since I was in high school. So I don't even really remember those ones at all. And then of course Rebecca is just kind of like a suspenseful, weird psychological story. So we'll see what happens here. I'll let you guys know. I don't hate it, but I'm not loving it. So anyway, those books are fulfilling two different sort of read-along things, readathons that I'm involved in this month. So there was Christie's Missing, which went from December 3rd to the 14th, and those were the days that Agatha Christie actually, in real life, went missing. And so I did those two Agatha Christie's for that. That was hosted by Berna. And then Mark at Book Time with Elvis is hosting Du Maurier December. And so that's why I'm reading Rule Britannia. So I gotta get done with those ones because I still have a couple other readathons that I committed to and bought books for, as well as just the things that I just want to read this month. And I think I'll have time, it'll be fine. But I feel like I've just kind of been slogging along, which really has been fine because I have had a lot to do. So now that I'm settling in and just gonna hang out and be cozy for a few weeks, it's the perfect time to get into some of the cozy reads that I know will just be very enjoyable and festive and all the things. So I will probably leave it there for tonight. I am in the middle of making goodies. I have been making my dad's peanut butter fudge. I made a pan of it and I'm gonna make at least one more pan tonight because I need to practice this thing. I have not made it in a really long time, and if you stir it too much, it gets grainy. And if you stir it for too long, it gets crumbly in the pot before you put it in the pan. So there's just like this perfect thing. It's like the perfect way that it has to be done. And my first batch was pretty grainy and not even all that peanut buttery because, okay, so I know that this is hard fudge to make. And so it's not hard, but it's like harder than melting chocolate chips and adding sweetened condensed milk and calling it good. So I put out all my ingredients, right? Everything was set, everything was ready. I boiled this stuff up to 234, and then all I needed to do was add vanilla and stir in the peanut butter. So I get my little thing of peanut butter, and it's only like 1/4 of a cup, so I'm just like holding. Anyway, I drop it in the pot, the measuring cup and the peanut butter. And it's 234 degrees, so I can't just reach in and pull it out. It's a metal measuring cup, right? And so I'm like, oh, and so I'm trying to I go and grab our long tongs, and I'm trying to grab the measuring cup with the tongs, and I'm grabbing a hot pad to try to hold the measuring cup and try to get the peanut butter out of there into the pot and stir it up before it all hardens, and it was so ridiculous. But it turned out fine and edible, but it definitely needs a redo. So I'm gonna do that tonight, gonna load this video, gonna finish this book, and tomorrow I'm gonna do my last shopping day of the Christmas season. And then I'm staying home and reading my pile of books. So anyway, that's my update. I hope you guys are all doing well. I will see you soon. Bye-bye.